Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CV Tsukiyomi. No, I haven't done a video in a long time, but I am doing one now. This is a Weiss Schwarz deck profile. It's actually my Symphogear deck. Because I started playing Weiss Schwarz, I think it was like in January, and I was playing the English edition for a while, but we weren't getting a lot of cards until recently. If you guys heard that English Weiss Schwarz is getting, Madoka boosters, and they're getting Sword Art Online boosters, and they're getting Fate Zero boosters. Madoka boosters come out like in May. Sword Art Online comes out in July, and Fate Zero is like sometime in the fall. So, anyways, so then we were playing Japanese, like the Japanese card game with Japanese decks. So I was playing Symphogear because I really like Symphogear, and when I think of Weiss Schwarz as a card game, Symphogear stuck to my head. So I played this. It actually took me a while to play this deck because this deck is actually like kind of difficult to play. I don't actually recommend playing it if you're like beginning to play the card game because it was completely different than what I expected. So I'll get into it, that way you know what it does, and then I'll do like a Kotori if you guys like rewrite, because I have a deck like that too. So we'll start off with this. So Symphogear, I'll start off with your triggers, basically your climax cards. Right now I play 4 yellow triggers. It's called I Have Something I Want to Protect, and what it does is when you use it, it gives you, if you just play it from your hand, you get the +1000 and +1 soul to all your front row characters. If you hit it as a trigger when you're like trigger checking, you get the critical. I'll try to see if you can zoom in. You get a critical, and you get a it looks like a golden tornado. What that golden tornado does is it actually allows you to bounce a card, and what I mean is it allows you to return a card on your opponent's field back to their hand, which I think is really good because you can actually bounce something that your opponent worked for to put on the field, and then they're going to have to pay stock, or they're going to have to do something again to get that out, so they might have to waste some resources. So I think this is actually a really good trigger. I really like this. So playing 4 of those. And we're playing 4 Wings of Backlight. Now this one is basically the same thing, like text-wise. It's a +1000 and +1 soul to all your front row characters. Now this one doesn't have a critical trigger. Instead, it has this golden looking gate, and that golden looking gate means that when you trigger check it, you're allowed to get a card from your waiting room, which is like your discard pile. So that's really good because it's basically a +1, which is really good, and you can get a card, maybe something you might really need, which I think is really good. I really like this. So both of my triggers allow me to do more than just damage. This one allows me to get a card from my waiting room, so I can go +1, and then this one just kind of makes my opponent waste resources, so they might have to drop some cards. So I like that a lot. So those are the triggers. You can only play 8. So next, for my level 0s, I play for yellow level 0s. I play 2 hibikis, Pain in Her Chest. What this card does is it has 1500 base. And when it's played from your hand to the stage, you can pay 1 stock, and you're allowed to search your card for, I think it's a music trait. Let me make sure, because I know it can't search out a few of my cards. But I'm almost positive. You can pay the cost, search your, look up to 1 music trait character, and reveal it, and then put it in your hand, and then you have to I think you have to discard a card. Discard a card. You have to discard a card from your hand to get a new card from your deck that's a music trait. And essentially everything in the deck is actually a music trait card anyways. So that ends up being really good for you. So you can basically search out everything except for your event cards. So what I like to do with this card is basically when I play it, it allows me to fix my hand. So if there's something I need, I can just play this and then use it. Next, I play, I think this is called Hibiki Full Power Punch, I think, or Hibiki Full Power. No, it's Hibiki Full Power Punch. So this is a 25 base, level 0, and what it does is, when it comes out onto the field, what you do is you can have it here, and let's say you've swung for your turn, and then on your opponent's turn, your opponent swings, and if you want to save this card, what you do is you reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a music trait card, which is basically everything in this deck except for 3 cards, you're allowed to move it somewhere else in the front row. So that's really good. So let's say your opponent has something like right here, like that's about to attack, and it's actually kind of annoying. You can just reveal the top card of your deck. You hit a card, you hit a music trait, you can move it, so you can save this hibiki card. So I really like that, and I like that because it allows me basically to keep my card on the field without having to lose it, and then I don't have to like waste cards out of my hand. I would actually play more of this if I could find it, but this card is really hard to find, especially in my area. So right now, the most I get is 2. So that's it. I guess we're just going to be playing with 2 for now. If I find more, that'll be fine. But right now, I don't have that many. So 2 is good. But I would probably play 3 of this card. Next, for the red level 0s, I play 1 miku, substitute guardian. This card's really good. I used to play too many of this because I thought it was just really good. But now I just use it when I need it. So it's a level 0 with 2,000 or 2,000 base. What it does is, when it comes into play, it has a brainstorm ability, and it allows you to pay 1 stock, and then reveal the top 4 cards of your library. And for every climax card you revealed from the top 4 cards of your library, you can get that many cards back out of your waiting room. So like, if I revealed like top 4 cards like this, and I hit one of them as a climax card that goes to my waiting room, I can actually pick up cards equal to the amount of climaxes that I hit from my waiting room. So it's actually almost essentially a +1 or better, so I really like that card. This one I just play for fun because I think it's a good looking card. It's called Kanade Almo, I think is how you pronounce it. It's not actually that great. Like I said, I just like it for the artwork. It has 500 power, and what it does is when it comes into play, you can look at the top card of your deck, and then you can leave it on the top or put it on the bottom. It's okay. It's not that great. There's actually better cards I could play, but like I said, I just like it for the artwork. And then next I play 3 Kanade, Tsubasa's partner. This is your 1500 suicide, and what a suicide does is when it attacks another level 0, that card also gets reversed. So basically, if you can put it in front of another level 0 that's a bit higher than yours, and you can get rid of some cards that your opponent doesn't like. So let's say they had a level 0 right here with like 3,500 power, and you can't get over it. You can just go like this. You can just swing, and then you can reverse both of your cards. So that's actually pretty good. So if you can't actually get over it, you have an answer with these. And it has a second ability, which is a salvage ability. You can pay 2 stock, and you can search your waiting room for any Tsubasa card and add it to your hand. So that's actually pretty good. Since a lot of the cards in this deck are Tsubasa, I like to keep it at the... I like Tsubasa, because I mainly focus this deck on Tsubasa. So 0s, I play 1 Tsubasa, steeled like a sword. Basically, this is a level 0, and you can pay 1 to search for an event card called, I think it's called something Ameha. Let me find out. Ame-no-habakiri. I don't know. Anyway, this is just your event. Ame-no-habakiri or something like that. And it allows you to search this out of your waiting room, and this card is an event card that will basically allow me to do some sick shenanigans, which I'll get into later. So one of those, it allows me to get it. I like it just because since I can't search out the event card, since it doesn't have a trait or anything, I need a way to at least try to be able to get it if I don't have it in my hand. So that's why I play one of these. Then I play 1 Tsubasa, changing... Tsubasa, Trust in Partners. It's an assist card. It gives 500 to characters in the front row. I'm almost positive that's what it does. And then it's got another ability where you can rest 2 cards on your field and give +1 level to one of your cards. So I really, really like that because plus 1 level and plus 500 power. So like I said, I might as well just talk about this event card really quick. The ame-no-habakiri. What it basically does is, if you have a level 2 tsubasa on the field, you can use this and you can switch into your level 3 tsubasa and you can heal 1 and then you can do other stuff. So one of the goals is this card can actually help your level 1 tsubasas turn into level 2 tsubasas, and then we can use this. So that's actually really good. I actually might play 2. Like I said, I might drop the other kanade card. Then I play 2 tsubasa, Sadness of Loss. Basically, this card is another assist character. It gives 500 to the whole front row. And you can use its Brainstorm ability, which is pay 1, look at the top 4 cards, and for every climax you hit, you can search your deck for that music trait character, and then you have to discard that many cards that you searched for. So if I searched out for 1 card, I can I have to discard a card. So it's not that broken. It just allows you to fix your hand. So pretty good. And then I played 2 of these standard vanillas just because I needed space. They're just generic 3K vanillas, nothing special. And then I have Tsubasa, First Date. Basically it's 2500 base, but when you have 1 or less other cards on the field besides this, it gets plus 1000, so it's at 35. So it's okay. It's pretty decent. Not bad. It's a good turn 1 play because you can just drop it and you can just let it sit there at 35 because 35 is pretty big. Next we play Hibiki. I think this is... I don't remember the name, but I'll just tell you this. It's a Hibiki level 1. It's a Hibiki level 1 with 4500. What it does is you can pay 1, search your deck for a music card, and then you have to discard. You have to discard a card first, and then search your deck for a music card, which is pretty good in my opinion. I really like it. I think it's... I'm not going to go into the name. Anyways, it's in the trial deck, so it's actually pretty good. It's actually just a bigger version of this card. So I like it because this is one thing I like about this deck. If you guys know me from Cardfight Vanguard, I love decks that search or have the ability to search cards out. And this, when I saw these cards, I was like, wow, this deck can search a lot of stuff out. So I really, really like that. And that's why I actually chose this deck. So this is actually a very good card. I like it. It allows me to search. I think those are actually the only yellows I play for that level, for level 1. That's the only one. Next, I play 3 kanade. I think this is kanade Bearer of the Symphogear. What this card does is, if I have tsubasa on that day, which is these cards, I play 4 of them, and then I play 3 of these. Basically what they do is... Okay, let me move them up really quickly. So if I have this card on the field and this card on the field together, this card gets plus 500 for every tsubasa on that day you have on your opponent's turn. This card, when this card is on the field, this card gets plus 2000 for this on the field. So they essentially both become 7k on your opponent's turn. And that's really good during grade 1 or level 1, because 7k is really big for level 1. I know it doesn't sound really large, but it actually is pretty big, and it's actually kind of tough for your opponent to get over. So I like this a lot. I was trying something else before and it was not working out. This has a ton of synergy and it's really good. And then, you know, if it's at a 7k base on your turn, like when you're at level 1, and let's say you're on level 2 and you still have this, you can actually then try to level up this tsubasa to level 2 and then get it up to level 3, which is a pretty standard play I do quite often actually. So, but essentially these just work together. They give you the 7k column, or 7k base, so that's pretty good. Those are the level 1s I play. Level 2s I play to kanade. Basically it's a backup assist. What it does is if I'm being attacked, I can play this from my hand, and it gives my character that's being attacked plus 3,000 power. So for like Yu-Gi-Oh terms, if you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh, this is basically a watered down Honest or like a Kalut, which I think is totally broken. But this deck is actually really powerful, and I never really feel like a lot of times I don't feel like any deck can really overpower me, so sometimes they're not that useful. But this is actually a pretty good card. Just the fact that your opponent has to think about it, like whether they should swing into your card, not knowing if you have these in your hand, is actually kind of crazy, because I've done that before. I had a friend who had a level 3 out, and I had a level 3 out, and his was more powerful than mine, and he swung into it, and then I just played this, and I went to town. So that was really good. He had to waste some stock to save his card, so that was really good. Next I play Tsubasa. Level 2, let me find its full name for you, because some of these names are just too hard to find. I think it's Tsubasa Way of the Sentinel. Nope, it's not it. Unresonating Sound. Nope. Tsubasa, come on. Is it Joy of Singing? It is not. Maybe it's Standing Dignifiantly. Okay, this is Tsubasa Standing Dignifiantly. I had to find its name. Basically, it's a level 2. It costs 1 to play. It's basically for your back row cards, and what it allows you to do is it gives 500. When it comes into play, you can put a marker on from the top card of your deck underneath this card as a marker, and what that marker allows you to do is when you ever decide you want to play an event card, instead of paying stock to use that event card, you can actually just use the marker to pay the event card. So it allows you to save your stock. The other ability it has is cards that are in the front row get 500 power plus their level. So if this is in the front and this is right here, I get, since this is a level 2, this gets plus 1,000 power because it gives 500 for every level. So it's actually really good. It allows your characters to get really strong. And then next I play 2 Tsubasa. I hate finding these names. I think it's Time of Determination. Yes, it is. This is Tsubasa, Time of Determination. It's my other level 2. It costs 1 and has 8,000 power, but what its skill does is if I have 4 or more, 4 other cards on the field, I can play this, pay 1 stock, but then take the top card of my library and put it to my stock. So essentially it's free. So that's pretty good. I like this card. I don't generally have to pay for it, to be honest with you. And the deck is always generally low on stock, because we use a ton of stock in this deck. So those are the level 2s character cards, and then this is my event card. It's a level 2. You have to pay 2 to use it. It's the ame-no-habakiri. What it does is, if you have a level 2 Tsubasa in this deck or on the field, you can use this card. It allows you to heal 1, and then you can play Tsubasa Kanazari from your hand. And this is the Tsubasa Kanazari card. It's the level 3, and I play 3 of them. No, sorry, I play 4 of them. They have 95 base, but when you use this card, instead of going to the waiting room, it goes into your memory, which is kind of like your remove from play zone. And this card, when it's summoned that way, you can actually draw 2 cards and then discard a card. So you basically get a +1 off this card, which I think is really good. And then its other skill is, if you have this event card in your memory, it gets 1,500. So it can be 11, which I think is really good. So the combo with this is you use this on when you're at level 2 to be able to get this out when you're still at level 2, and you can try to do some more damage and get some more pluses from this card. A lot of people were telling me to play the Hibiki level 3 event, but I don't like Hibiki. I play Symphogear because I really like Symphogear, and I like Tsubasa the best. Tsubasa is my favorite character, so I wanted to devote the deck to kind of focus on Tsubasa, so that's why I chose that. I chose Tsubasa as the main focus. And then I play 2 Hibiki Tachibana. This card's okay. It's a 10 base, and whenever I have something I want to protect is in your climax zone. It gets plus 1500 on your opponent's turn. So this thing gets really big. It just has a huge body and your opponent really can't go over it. So it's actually pretty good. I like it as a backup, not so much as like a focus, because it can be good if you're just trying to be a bit more defensive. Because like I said, it can get up to 11.5 base, which is pretty good on your opponent's turn, which is nasty. So I like this card, but I didn't want to focus on it, but I did like it. There's another grade or level 3 people were telling me to run, which was the Miku. I saw that card. I actually ordered them, so we'll see how that turns out, but I haven't used them yet. And yeah, so that's my Symphogear deck, guys. Hope you like it. I really like it. I really like the deck. It has a ton of searching ability, and it's actually a really fast deck. Like, it's actually really quick, and you can do a lot of shenanigans. It's my kind of deck. I really like it. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and have a happy Easter holiday. Peace.